Hello everyone, this is the Porsche Panamera and we're here to see what can you get for a Porsche under R1 million. We are,
but this is just on a whole new level.
TVEC.
This is a performance car after all, so you'd expect it to be a lot more rough in terms of ride.
Reactions.
Yo!
Reviews.
Handmade engineering underneath this monster.
Messing around.
4 liters of fuel. Eugene, you're paying for this.
It's crazy. I'm not gonna have enough.
Like, comment, subscribe, enjoy. Before this video gets started, I'd just like to give a massive thank you again to 4x here in Stratham Park with these amazing cars for giving us this amazing Panamera 4. You're gonna check out their details, make sure you click the links down below. So, onto the video.
Okay guys, we are now with the Porsche Panamera 4 and we're going to be speaking a bit about the design. Now, just on top of design, there is a Panamera 4 there from 2010. Now this is a 2017, so I'm going to give you a little bit of the details that have changed from this car compared to that one there. Now we're not going to be speaking directly about that car, but we're going to be using it as an example. So starting off at the front, the Panameras have become a lot more modern. If we were to look at something like that, the front headlights give away the age. This looks like really modern Porsche, whereas that car has the really old 2010 lights. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. Now the light shape has stayed the same, as well as these really nice strong bumps on top of the bonnet. Now you have some entrances here to let the engine breathe, because it's got a really nice engine there, which we'll get to in a second. Coming to the sides now, you have these really nice Porsche wheels. They actually look a lot like Cayman GT4 wheels. Now you have some drilled brakes as well, because obviously being a Porsche, it is made to stop and go really quickly, as well as handle and do all the other things you need in life, because the Porsche has got you covered. Now from the side, you can see it's got this really strong line that runs across all the way across both doors, as well as the bottom, and that is something that hasn't changed. If I was to just walk over here quickly and show you, it's got the same styled line here. The biggest difference is that goes at an angle, whereas this has become a lot more flat and straight over here. Now this is a real vent because it's a Porsche, it's not a Mercedes, so you have to have real vents on the car. And if you come to the side, another big difference is actually the start of this rear end. If you were to stand and look straight on like this, it has a very 911 rear end now, whereas that has a very shooting brake styled rear end, if I was to say. Don't come at me, it's not a shooting brake, but it has that sort of style. The roof goes straight into the boot. This has a little bit of an off-put here as you come down, with these really nice long tail lights. And the lights really modernize this car. I mean, if you look there again, those big bulgy lights make that car look 10 years older than this car. And it stands out with these brand new lights. Porsche has done a great job. They definitely at the top of the industry with light game. They're with Audi, Mercedes and BMW. But this is a lot of car for the money. And the big plus about having something like this is the badge right here. It's a Porsche. When you rock up somewhere, it's still a Porsche. It's still a Porsche Panamera. So let's actually head inside and see if the interior quality is worth that R1 million mark.
So guys, you join us inside the Panamera, and off the bat you can clearly see that this is a tech-filled gizmo car. It's surprising that for under R1 million you really are getting a lot of things standard in this car, such as automatic climate controls and a lot of vehicle functions associated with the car. Now if I do look into the gauge cluster, you can see that you have your center tachometer, which is actually an analog tachometer, flanked by 2 digital gauge clusters, which is something that they still do to this day. But I do know that now, well, from now on, Porsche has fully digitalized the gauge cluster. Looking onto the steering wheel, you have nice pedal shifters, although I will say that in Mercedes they still do it a lot better than what most Porsches. You do have your toggle to switch around the different drive modes, such as your Sport, Sport Plus, Individual, as well as normal mode, obviously for if you're going to drive this car every single day. And then looking onto here in your center console, you have your big giant gear shifter, well, tiny gear shifter. And then in the piano black plastic, they've incorporated a lot of functions into here, such as your climate control. Well, a lot of it is your climate control, and then your 2-stage suspension for making it rougher or making it smoother, and as well as turning off traction control. And then sitting inside here, the materials are phenomenal. It's a Porsche. The leather in here obviously is real. And yeah, this is a very nice interior. So now let's actually go ahead into the back.
Okay guys, you meet me in the back end of the Panamera 4. Now, in the back end, you do only have 2 seats. You don't have 3 with the small middle seat because Porsche has looked out for you. Now, you have some cup holders here that are really nice. You do have your USB Type A over here. You've got 2 of them to charge your phone there. And everything is built really nicely. You've got all the lovely leather surrounding you, the really nice roof lining. You've got a sunroof. And there is some piano black over here, which isn't great, but it's not too much of a problem. You've got really nice leather over here. And a really nice screen display at the back for both people at the back. Now I want to show you something pretty cool. Is if I actually open up the vents, this happens at the back and the front, and if you close them, you can actually switch that off over there. Now this is all towards the rear end here, and some other things that Porsche has incorporated is actually media. So if you press this, you can play media, and if you press navigation, you can even set navigation from the rear end, which is really nice. Now this is all finished off really nicely, and I am pretty happy in here. You've got a lot of leg room, and you've got a real good amount of headroom in the back, even with the shape of the car. So, talking about practicality now and space, let's actually head to the boot.
Now, coming to the rear section of the Panamera, we have to check out how practical it is. Since it does have a very much shooting brake, or not shooting brake, a fastback design, it has a lot of space inside. As you can see in here, you can fit maybe around 2 carry-on luggage bags, and that'll be probably about it, and a lot of shopping as well for all of you Santon moms who like to buy this car. Then looking underneath, you have your battery. You don't have a spare wheel because, well, that does add weight, and since this is a Porsche, you want to be driving fast a lot of the time. You do want all of the less weight that you want with a car like this. So now let's head to the front section because let's talk about that amazing engine.
We are now at the front end of the Panamera 4, and underneath the bonnet is a 3-liter V6. Now, funny enough, this motor is an Audi and Porsche co-developed motor because of VW working with both. So this car actually has a motor that's similar to something like an S5 or SQ5 engine, or something even similar to that of an A755 TFSI. Now, the A7 is slightly more powerful. And speaking about power, this car has 243 kilowatts and 450 newton meters of torque. But because this is the 4, it means it is all-wheel drive, and it has that beautiful PDK gearbox inside, which means this car gets to 100 in 5.5 seconds and tested just under that. So it is no slouch, but it is no performance Porsche, if you were to say that. I mean, it's going to be faster than nearly everything else on the road, but compared to that of like a turbo or a GTS, it's going to feel slightly less adequate in terms of power and speed than those sort of cars. But for under $1 million, what can you ask for more than this? Now, because this is a V6, we have to hear the engine because it is wonderful.
So guys, now that we reached the end of this wonderful review of the Panamera 4, sadly we couldn't drive it today, but maybe we'll in the future. You really are getting a lot of car for your money. You know, under that £1 million mark, you're going to be looking at something like an Audi A7, Mercedes-Benz CLS, or even something like a BMW 6 Series, sorry. And I think I'd rather go for the Porsche, because at the end of the day, you're buying the badge. And when you buy the badge as something like this, you're going to get prestige, you're going to get luxury, you're going to get all of the goodies that you associate a Porsche with. So what do we think? I think this is a 10 out of 10 car. I think Matteo can agree. The materials inside, everything associated with it, it is a Porsche at the end of the day. So just, again, I'd like to give a massive thank you again to 4x here in 4Ways, well, 4x here in Streatham Park. If you want to check out the details, make sure you click the links down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.